In each Barnabas Group meeting, we have a why Barnabas Group session or question. And why Barnabas Group really is to speak to you guys and tell you what's the value of Barnabas Group? Why should I join? Why should I become a partner? Well, one of the things that you do, but I mean, there's many things that you do, but you support the opportunity for ministries to meet each other. I've got two ministries here tonight, Brian Grant and Kids Around the World, and Scott Kvandel and of Refugio. Both are Barnabas Group partners, one from San Diego, one from Orange County. They didn't know each other, but they met each other by being at a Barnabas Group event. And today their two ministries are partnering together. I want to tell you what the impact of that is. So, guys.
Great. Thanks, Jim. You know, I, like many of you, joined and went through the master's program, and shortly thereafter I joined the Barnabas Group when it first formed in San Diego, and right thereafter God really called me to a new ministry, and it was to be called Refugio, which means his refuge in Spanish. And it's all based in Scripture. It's based in James 1:27, where we're called to help orphans and widows in their distress. So that's the heart of Refugio. We're in 3 countries today. We're in Paraguay, we're in Argentina, and we're in Peru. In Argentina, we have a children's home there where we're rescuing girls that are coming from sexual abuse. And they come through the court systems. We have a center of hope for women. We're training women with vocational skills so they don't have to leave the country and leave their children behind. We have an outreach for children on every Saturday. We have over 100 kids that are coming to our campus all day long. We feed them on not only food but spiritually as well. We have an Awana program and education for them. In Argentina, we're building a school, a Christian school, the first one in the area in northern Argentina, and we have outreach into the barrios, and so we started working in developing a children's discipleship program there as well. And in Peru, we're focusing on starting up feeding centers. Today we have, with feeding centers, we have over 25 feeding centers going on, 15 feeding centers and 10 children care centers. And Barnabas Group has just been a tremendous opportunity for us to meet others. I know Free Wheelchair was here tonight. We worked together with them in bringing the first wheelchairs into Paraguay and into Argentina together. And one of the great partners that we really met was Kids Around the World, and I'm going to want to introduce Brian and let him tell you a little bit about Kids Around the World.
Thanks, Scott. Kids Around the World, we've been partners at the Barnabas Group for about 4 years now, and it's been a wonderful platform to connect with marketplace partners, but also with ministry partners, such as Refugio. We really value their leadership, their vision, and their work on the ground. And we're able to bring our programs and wrap around what they're doing in places like Peru, and it creates greater levels of efficiency, efficacy, and just incredible God-given synergy. So it's a pleasure to work with Scott and his team, but it's thanks to the Barnabas Group that we've been introduced, and it's just an incredible platform for collaboration. Kids Around the World, our aim is to develop transformational environments where children can develop physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Our primary model of impact is through the establishment of play points. The Bible talks a lot about the city gates. The city gates are where the prominent, the powerful, and the influential would spend their time. They would gather there. The Bible doesn't speak too much of Jesus spending time at the city gates. And I personally believe it's because he was at the playgrounds. He was playing with the least of these. And you see, playgrounds are an incredible place of influence, where you can influence a child, a family, and an entire community. And we see Jesus show up at our playground projects. He's there. He's providing the gifts of love, faith, hope, and joy. His word is being shared at the property. This is our Kid Story program, and we have volunteers training children's workers and sharing with children stories of hope directly from the Bible. And Jesus is also feeding people. He's providing for the needs of the hungry. This is a meal packing event we did with Mariners Church to send to our partners in Uganda. I love this picture. I call these guys the Barnabas Boys. I presented here about 4 years ago. And as a result of that presentation, some Barnabas parents talked to me, and one of their sons gathered the troops, his good buddies from from Newport Beach High School, and before you knew it, they were sponsoring and fundraising and putting together a playground project in Havana. And they built 3 playgrounds there, and just an incredible project. But it was really neat. Just a couple months ago, one of the boys reached out to me. He's not a boy, he's a sophomore at USC. And he said that that trip was a pivotal moment in his life, and he wanted to get the team back together. And so just met with them at Bear Flag in Newport a couple months ago, and we're thinking about what we're going to do in South America. But you see that the Barnabas Group does not just provide opportunities to connect with other partners, it allows us to plant seeds that bear fruit in the next generation.
So when we got together with kids around the world, we said, well, let's build a playground together. And we did in our campus in Paraguay. And we said, well, let's build another one in Argentina. And we're bringing a playground there. It just arrived, and we're going to be taking a team and building there. And we started with Kids Story. Let's introduce Kids Story. And the trainer came from Kids Around the World from Ecuador into Argentina and into Peru. And we started doing packing events and feeding kids. Last year we sent, or earlier this year, we sent more than 400,000 meals to feed the kids, having a huge impact. So I want to let Brian share with you a little bit about how you can get involved in doing that.
So we just had a team come back from Peru, and Susan is a business owner. She runs a business in South Orange County, and she took her employees with her to work at a Refugio site in Peru, building a Kids Around the World playground. And so all these different pieces intersected, not just to benefit the children of Peru, but also to build God's kingdom. So we are going deep in Peru, and we'd love to invite you guys to see what's taking place. We have a vision trip coming up the first week in November, and it's a great opportunity for you to spend 5 days in Peru and really see what a collaborative model of impact looks like, where God is bringing multiple ministries together, and He is getting the glory, and children and communities are being impacted. So please consider coming with us. We'd love to have you there. And we've got some other projects coming up next year as well. But again, thank you so much for the Barnabas Group for making all this happen, and all your work, Jim.
Yeah, I would encourage you, if you get a chance, go on that mission trip. 5 days is not all that long, and you would have a blast. And believe me, you'd have some fun. Peru's a fun place. I was just there a couple weeks ago. So do that with Scott and with Brian, and I think you'll be blessed.